Hey guys, RB Tractor Man here. Getting ready to start on a new video. Getting excited about this one. We're getting equipment through the shop. We're going to go ahead and bring in the 9-in unit there. The old 9-in. Getting ready to come in and let's do a Will It Run series. How about that? So join me as we go ahead and get this sucker in the shop. And we'll set her out here and we'll start going through it. Hi guys, I'm RB, the Tractor Man. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to do a Will It Run series on this tractor here, which is a 9-in. I say that with skepticism, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. But yeah, anyway, so we've got this tractor. It's been sitting for roughly, I'm going to say 25 years. Been underneath a Harbor Freight carport type deal. And the snow finally did it in the carport this last year, so it was just a matter of let's just get it out there so that way it doesn't get weathered here. So we're going to go ahead and do a Will It Run series and get this thing going, assess it, and probably use it on the farm here. So let's go ahead and break into this. I have invited several people over this evening. This is the first of many to come. Once a month get together shop series that we'll be doing. And everybody's just so busy and such short notice that a lot of them are not able to make it. So it's okay. We'll get them next time. We may have a couple people stop by. So we're going to start off with basic stuff on this first, and then we'll get into more of the mechanical stuff later in hopes that maybe they show up and are able to come. So let me go and explain why I have always believed that this thing is a 9-in tractor, but then just now researching the serial number, I'm second guessing myself, and just a little teaser, I think this thing is a 2-in, and here is why. Alright, so here we go. So first thing I did is I thought that maybe the serial number was up on this tag here right behind the steering wheel, and so I went ahead and cleaned that off, and sure enough, no, that's just a patent tag. So that's okay. So we know from previous experience and videos and stuff, that we're able to get the serial number from the side of the motor here. So here's the oil filter canister, and right to the right of that is the serial number block. And I'm going to zoom in for you guys here. So this serial number is 9N 195191. Okay, and that's important. So I wrote that down, and we went ahead, we got it up here on our little whiteboard. Here's our info. So we thought it was a Ford 9N. There's our serial number. And I found some interesting data. When I went to try to find a year, the 9N, the actual 9N serial numbers are 5 digits, not 6. So that threw me for a loop. I thought, okay, well maybe one number is off too far. So did a quick search, and I'm just going to leave my phone here and try to zoom in on it here. Don't know how well it's going to work. It's probably not. So, as I mentioned, so 1939 to 1942 is when the 9N was produced. First serial number was 9N1, and then the last serial number was 9N99046. So, threw me for a loop. So, next down, we've got the wonderful Ford 2N, which was produced from 1942 to 1947. Okay, and we look here and we start finding that these actually have 6 digits in their serial number. And looking through the list here, and I apologize, I don't know if I can get this any better here. Yeah, it's just not going to come in, guys. I apologize. But what we're going to find out here, let's see if we can zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so here we go. So 1945 has a 9N170018 to 9N198766. Well, guess what? That's where our serial number fits in. So I believe that this unit is actually a Ford 2N model, 1945. So the only thing that makes sense, we go further down. 8N is serial numbers all start with 8Ns. So, and then Ford Jubilees and NAAs start with NAA. So, yeah, guys, we got a 2N, not a 9N. So I don't know how I'm going to label this video. Maybe we'll do something like 9N scratch out 2N. I don't know. But hey, we got a tractor. We're going to do a Will It Run series. We should have a load of fun. So I think the first thing we're going to do is I'd like to get these tire pressures up to where they should be. That's something simple, and it will definitely help out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back my truck up here. We got the generator, or the compressor set up in the back of the truck yesterday. So rather than pulling out my little electric compressor, you know what, we're going to use that thing because I really want to start using it and getting it broken. That way I don't have issues out in the shop, or out in the field. So we'll go ahead and do that. So, and then as you can see, guess what? We got the barbecue up at the shop. We have guests that stop by tonight. We're going to have some hot dogs, some beer, or I should say adult beverages, and I got some other stuff too. So nobody's going to go thirsty. So anyways, let's start with the tires, and then let's progress and see where it goes from there, and let's see if anybody shows up. Alright guys, as you can see, I got my truck moved over here, got the airline all stretched out, got our compressor right in the back. So you know what, let's see if we can get some air in these tires. I'm just going to set us up like right here. Yeah, get you guys all set up. Let me get that compressor started up for us. See if I can get up on my tailgate first. Yeah, I'd have to say, I think we went ahead and got that engine fixed. First pull starts right up, and that's even after draining the tank. I'm happy with that. So let's let some air build up, and we'll go ahead and get these tires going here. pretty good. So cool. Happy with that. I had turned off the fuel, got it completely drained. We got tires all layered up. I put about 12 pounds in the rear and about 30 to 35 pounds in the front. So realistically, probably about 32 pounds. So much better. Tires are right up. And that's a good spot to start. I think the next thing we need to do is go ahead and check fluids. So we'll go ahead and switch back over to the other camera for that and see where we're at with things. So, all right, I'll tell you, between the piggies and the swamp cooler, I sure have hauled a lot of water today. So now the 4-2 in. All right, there we go. So we're putting in water right now, and this is why. We've got us a little drip. Figure out where it's leaking from. Cool, looks like just a hose. So we put in water. We're going to find some things up with this. And obviously, as we work through them, we'll get the hose fixed. And then we can put real stuff in it. But like I said, 25 years in the making right here. So kind of the history with this is kind of a local machine. It was a couple towns over from where we live, and the guy, I guess, plowed snow with it. Kind of the setup underneath indicates that at one point it had a sickle mower. So, and it could have, that sickle mower could still be up in the woods. I might look for it. So, I like this thing. So it has inner weights on the front and weights on the back. So it's definitely a weighted tractor that's going to do really good for plowing. I think that's what we're going to use this for this fall. So we'll see. First things first, let's continue to work through it and see where things are at. How about the oil? Oh, we've got oil on the dipstick. Looks really good. It's a little dark, but that's dark from sitting. And we're in the safe operating mode, so yeah, we're good there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a pan underneath that. I'm not too worried about the drip. It's not Jurassic, but the line is definitely broke right down underneath. So we'll get that replaced. Bummer, because I just had one, and I'm not sure what to do with it. Okay. And then I do have a leak down in the transmission area, and I'm thinking that there's probably water in there, and it's forcing it out. So we're going to take a look at that. That'll be our next step. So guys, this is how this works. I worked on that that Ferguson TO30 earlier this week, and got it running and stuff, and we decided to go ahead and replace hoses and everything on it as well, being that we had to replace the radiator. We went ahead and did that. So I had the old hoses just laying around. They're not in great shape, but guess what? It's the hose, and it's the same hose. So we can go ahead and exchange that out. We got the hose for that, and that one was just bound for the dump. It just happened to end up in my box, and we can use it for this. So I kind of tend to keep things like that just in case, especially around here where we have so many of these Fords. I think we're going to become a Ford farm, even though I am like a John Deere / IH person. Now I guess I'm a John Deere / IH / Ford person. Tractors. Anyways, love the old classics. We got that taken care of. Let's check the rear end. As you can see, this thing is leaking. This is why you always move a tractor a day in ahead of time before you start working on it. You can figure out what's going on with it. So, yeah, so we got a leak out of the pan there. There's a plug there, and I'm curious if there's not water in the transmission unit, and we'll be able to tell here in a little bit. I think what we're going to do is we're going to back out those plugs and see if any moisture comes out first. We'll probably go ahead and drain water out until good fluid starts coming out, and then top it off from there and see where we're at. So, yeah, like I said, this thing's been sitting. So one thing I wanted to know, this has a Ferguson tag on it for right there, and this for the attachment for the sickle mower, I believe. So kind of unique. One thing that's been done to this machine is somebody has welded an angle iron onto the tie rod here, and I'm guessing that's to support it, to make it stronger. Not exactly sure. Not exactly sure that I want to fix it, but yeah. so it's not hurting anything at this time. All right, let's go ahead and get underneath this tractor and get those plugs loosened up, and let's see what kind of water comes out of this thing. All right, guys, so I got the plug loosened up here. Let's check this on, see what's underneath here. See if oil comes out. All right, so that's oil, guys. So we're good with that one. Now I was looking at the other plug, the one that's actually leaking, and I did us a favor before turning the camera on here, and I went ahead and loosened up the plugs. Well, that other plug is loose. So, knowing the gentleman very well that this came from, I'm thinking maybe he might have kept it loose, just knowing condensation builds up in these units. So, and it just, because it's been hot, it's running out. So, yeah, we're good with that one. Let's move on to this other one and see what it's like. Okay. So let's loosen this plug up, see what's going on here. Will oil come out, guys, or is it going to be water? We got oil, guys. All right, so like I said, this plug was loose already, so that's a good thing. At least we're not competing with water in there. We'll have to top her off. I think I got enough fluid around this farm to do that with. That is actually going to be for the hydraulic system, so it's good. All right, let's go ahead and give that a good tightening here. Yeah. All right. So I see that there's one bolt missing here. Not a huge deal. It doesn't look like it's been leaking. So we'll just remember that. And at one point we'll probably pull this pan, especially when we restore this thing, because we're going to restore it. We're going to get us a teenage boy that's interested in this thing, and we're going to let them restore it. So, all right. I think we're done down underneath here. I should probably check the rear end. Let's work that direction and see what we got going on. Alright, so rear end looks okay. We're all good there. That's the mess I made. So underside's all good. We'll go ahead and get the rear end topped off, the hydraulic system topped off to where it should be. Let's go ahead and check that dipstick. I know it's going to be low, because we just let some fluid out. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, we're at the low mark, guys, so let's get her topped off, and we'll be in good shape then. Alright, guys, we're ready to go ahead and put some fluid in this thing. I'm just going to use my 2.5 gallon jug here. See where we're at. See if it's coming up at all. A little bit. Alright, we're almost there. Let's go ahead and give out that much more. Okay, we're at the good mark there. Maybe a little high, but we should be alright. Cool. Let that kind of filter down in there. Go there. Throw our cap back on top. Alright. Guys, so as I was saying, the gear shifter is a little bit stiff and doesn't like to go into gears. I mean, it will, but it's just a little bit jammed up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and squirt some stuff in there and just kind of work it free. It really needs to have a cap on it. That'll be something we'll have to get ordered. So first, third, reverse, second. Okay. She's liking that. She's all free now. Okay. Bump switch is free, so we're liking that. Alright. Next thing I'm going to do, little tedious thing, is I'm going to go ahead and clean the faces to the gauges. We just can't see them, so something we can do and see if anybody shows up here. Alright, so I'm just going to use a little soapy water in a squirt bottle and just kind of go over these with a little rag. Oh yeah, big difference already. So it looks like maybe the oil pressure isn't in the best of shape. May need to replace that one. That one cleaned up right away. Oh, these good old tractors. I like the patina on them. You know, we're not going to go crazy on it because the truth of the matter is, once we get this thing all together, we'll probably go ahead and get it pressure washed up, and maybe rub some diesel on it to keep the patina. So, that's my secret. I run diesel on them. There is other things you can run. There is products out there. So, yeah, it just depends. Alright, so gauges are cleaned up nice. We can see them. And like I said, the only gauge I can't see very well is the oil pressure gauge, and it looks like it doesn't work anyways. So we may need to get a replacement for that, but we're making progress. What's next? You know that coolant line, the bottom line for the radiator is leaking pretty good. I'm thinking what I'd like to do is go ahead and pull that broken line off now. Go ahead and get that water we put in out. Let's get the new line put in and test it out. That way we're not having to deal with that leak. Alright guys, as this is draining here, so one thing I want to comment on is there was just a little bit of antifreeze in there. I can see the green in it, but this is good. This is going to go ahead and flush this unit out really nice, and we'll be able to get that line replaced and then not have to deal with that leak. Core and stuff looks really good on this radiator. I'm not seeing any leaks or wet spots, so that's a good thing. And I do have the grill for it. I got a brand new grill for it. We'll get that put on as soon as we get everything else going through. Once we do the cosmetic stuff. Alright, that should be low enough. Let me go ahead and get it set up here, and we'll go ahead and get those old clamps out of there and get that pipe off. Alright guys, so I tried to undo the clamps, and they are just rusted really well. So I don't think I'm going to be able to undo them with a traditional screwdriver. So what we got up our sleeves, we're going to go ahead and cut them off with the old trusty angle grinder. Being that we know that the hose is bad, shouldn't be any issues with that. Let's see if we can get this in here and do this. Okay, I think we're mostly through on that one. Not sure how we're going to do this one. Just like that. Alright, we're through on that one. We'll go ahead and get those things broken off of there and get that line off and get it replaced. Alright, let's see if we do any damage here. Oh yeah, that one's loose. That was the right call, guys. There we go. How's this one? Yep, this one's loose too. Sometimes you just gotta do that It's just time-saving factor. There we go. Easy, done. Okay. See if we can get this old line off here. This might be the fun part. Well, the cool thing about when you cut bands off like that is usually if you score the rubber, you get that out of the way too, or broken loose. Then it wants to come free a lot easier. Yeah, we're close. Alright, let me see if I can work this out here. Look at that. Okay, we're off. We'll get those nipples cleaned up a little bit. I'll get a little finishing paper, and then we'll get those cleaned up. We'll put that new line back on, or the new used line back on, and new clamps. We'll call her good. Scrap. Okay. Buff this out just a little bit. This just helps if there's any debris. The new coolant lines can seal a lot better than sitting on top of that little rough spot. It doesn't look bad, guys, but... Alright, new hose is in. Somehow you guys dropped off. I don't know when you dropped off, but I'm really having issues with this tripod. Gonna have to get us a new tripod. Anyway, so hose is in. I think we should go ahead and try to put some new fluid in it and check for leaks. Alright, big tube on the water. We got the valve closed at the bottom. Well, guys, we need a little more water. So I guess we're going to have to go visit those pigs. If you haven't seen my other YouTube videos, this last week we brought pigs to the farm. So kind of cool, kind of cute. Yeah, so anyways, they got the hose right now, so we'll go get some more water. Come back and top this off. Alright guys, so I went and got some more water, and when I was gone I noticed that it's leaking again. So, it's possible this line is just as bad as the other one was. I don't feel it leaking from up above. You would think it would be from right up here. Don't see nothing. So, yeah, that tube probably was no good either. I'm glad we went in and got the other one replaced with the other one. So, we'll get a new tube. I think I can get that at Tractor Supply. If not, Steiner. Expect an order. So let's go ahead and get some more water put in this thing. It's topped off. And we'll just let it leak. I got the bucket underneath there now. So let's get you guys moved up to where you can see. Look at that, we're full. Made a mess everywhere. Okay, well I went ahead and got extra water because swamp cooler's probably going to need some more water here in a little bit. Yeah. So there is a water line that comes to my shop a couple years ago during a holiday, extended holiday evening. Yeah, the water line broke, so used whatever couplers and stuff around the farm here to get it fixed. So I need to dig back up that line and fix it right so that we can get water down here, and then we'll be in good shape. So, yep. Anyways, yeah, it's looking pretty good. But we got water in it, so we're going to go ahead and check that off the list for now. We get it running and stuff. I mean, that's going to be an issue if we try to take it for a test drive, so we will have to replace that line. But let's move on. I'm thinking the next thing we need to tackle, how about the fuel system? So the fuel bowl is pretty dark and yucky, so we are definitely going to want to clean that. And then carburetor-wise, I see that the fuel line is off of the carburetor, so I don't know what to think about that. Was it removed because it wasn't running right, or was it removed in order to keep the carburetor from being full of fuel? So we should probably go ahead and pull the carburetor. Hope we don't break the gasket in between. If we do, not a big end of the world. We can make one real quick. But I think we need to put it on the bench and at least clean the jets and stuff. So let's start with the glass bowl, get that cleaned up. Okay guys, so I have tried to look for a replacement screen and gasket, and I use that setup already. Like I said, I always buy an extra one, use it up. So, okay, not a big deal. We can still clean stuff up tonight. I'm thinking let's go ahead and use the ultrasonic parts cleaner tonight on this. Let's see what this thing does. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Let's see if it does anything. No, we'll try some other fluids. Let's add a little water to it. There we go. Okay, so if you guys ever use an electrolysis or an ultrasonic cleaner, pretty simple. It's kind of amazing. So you see what the state of this is right now. It's pretty bad. Drop her in. We're going to set this to 480 seconds. That's it. We'll let it do its thing, and then we'll take a look and see what it is. I don't imagine it's going to clean first go around. It's going to be a couple of different tries, but let's give it a try and see what it does. Ding, ding, ding. All right, guys, round one's over on this thing. Let's see what's happened here. Oh, a little scummy in there. Not bad. You can see the outside. The bottom is still pretty crusty. You know what? What about some OxyClean? Let's give that a try. Okay, so I put some of the OxyClean in there, or the Awesome brand of oxygen flavored stuff. Go round two here and see what it does. Meanwhile, I think it's time to fire up that barbecue. Alright, got the barbecue going here. Burn everything off. Get it turned down a little bit. Okay. We're going to do some hot dogs. We're going to have a little tailgate party here. Throw some hot dogs on. Got some watermelon. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Alright, hot dogs are cooking. We got us a tailgate party here. Find us a chair and a beer. And take a break and have a little grub. Alright, we are set to relax for a little bit. We got some watermelon and some chips. Nice cool beer. And hot dogs are about done. We're ready to rock and roll. We'll sit and relax for a little bit, and then we'll get back to seeing what our carburetor is doing here. Or, I'm sorry, our glass bowl. It's about time to reset it. Yeah, it's zeroed out. So this is round two. Let's see where we're at. It's pretty good. Got a lot of OxyClean down inside the bowl. I think I'm going to scrub that out just a little bit, and then we'll run it one more time and see how it does. Okay, let's see what after 2 times is, and a little scraping. Look at that, coming clean real quick. So I'm going to scrape just a little bit more, get that hard stuff off there, and we should be in good shape. We should be able to save this. We will have to get the gasket set. It's on the to-do list for tomorrow, so we should be able to do that and get that hose. And we'll continue on with this project. Alright guys, third go around here. Let's see what's up. Look at that. Crystal clear. Now I did scrub it pretty good, but there we are. And this does have a pretty rough spot on one side of the glass there. I think we'll be okay. I don't see no real cracks protruding, but yeah, we'll keep that. Obviously I had one explode earlier. This is the one we took off that TO30 earlier this week, and I thought I could save it, but it's in really bad shape. So we might be able to use the bell. That's probably about it. So anyways, so that's all cleared up. Happy with that. Try to make a game plan for tonight. Just got done with my little dinner, my tailgate party. Woohoo! Okay. So I think what I want to do is, we're at a point now, I'd like to hook up my jumper pack to it. Let's see if we can get this thing to crank over. If we can, great. And then I think what we want to do to end the night tonight is let's go ahead and pull off the carburetor and let's pull off the distributor. And then we could start fresh with that. So yeah, let's see if this thing will crank over. Okay, so I got the battery jump pack hooked up. Let's see what this does. Okay, so we got a starter that's not engaging. Okay, so starter's gonna have to come off. Figure. I told you guys this was gonna be fun. Alright, not an issue. Let's get the carburetor off, let's get the distributor off, and yeah, let's see if we can pull the starter off tonight. Alright guys, so we've made some good progress tonight. We got the bowl all cleaned up. We're happy with that. I went ahead and decided to go ahead and drain the fluid out of this. It is leaking still. Not 100% sure that it's the tube that's leaking. I think it's the top clamp. Seems like it's still wet up there, so it's just not getting a good seat. So we're going to inspect that a little further here. I did get the carburetor removed, ka-chink, distributor removed, ka-chink, and starter removed. So that's a good starting point or stopping point for the evening. I also got the spark plugs removed, so they're pretty rough too. So yeah, I think that's where we're at with this thing. Always takes so much time, but so much fun. So alright, let's call it a night. Hey guys, RB here, day 2. Had a good night's rest. Working on this Ford 2N/9N 2N tractor, and we need to assess parts this morning, so we're going to head to town. Okay, so last night before we closed down shop, we took some of the crucial parts off of the machine. Let's start with the starter. The starter was not engaging. The Bendex was messed up in there, so we're going to soak that a little bit. I have hope that we'll be able to get that going. So looking at that, spark plugs aren't in the horrible shape. They're gummed up pretty good. I may go ahead and just get a set of spark plugs while I'm in town. So call it good. The distributor, I haven't taken it apart yet. I definitely want to see what the points look like in there. I imagine it could be clean, but we'll go ahead and pop that apart real quick. And then carburetor wise, carburetor looks dry. It's got some gunk and stuff in the inside, but overall I think we're in good shape there. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and probably just keep that together. What we'll do is we'll put it together, we'll clean the crucial things. I want to pull that screen out and make sure it's clean, and then if we find that it has issues, I do have an aftermarket carburetor for these things, so if we have to pop that on, we pop that on. So yeah, so I just guess I'll pull into that distributor, see what we got going on. I do need to run to town, so if I need to pick up parts, I need to do that. So I'm going to tear into that. Got the distributor all tore apart, and it looks like it's in really good shape. The coil spring, there's no corrosion on it. Gasket's in good shape. The cap's in good shape. The rotor's got a little bit of burning right there, but I think we're in good shape there. Points look good. It could be cleaned just a little bit. And so while we're out, we'll probably go ahead and check for gap as well. So yeah, alright, well, that's what I need to know. Get the piggies fed and watered this morning, and then we'll get off on to town. Alright guys, we're back from town. Went and got some parts. So we got a new coolant line. We'll get that put on there. And then spark plugs, picked up some spark plugs. Believe it or not, Tractor Supply was out of gasket and screens for the Ford and Ferguson models. So ended up having to pick up one from Napa. Not a big deal. They didn't have the screen, but they had the gasket. So it just means that we're going to get this thing put together, and then we are going to have to do some maintenance to the sediment bowl here once we get her going and stuff. So not a big deal, as long as we get that to seal. So I think we're ready to start reassembling some parts. I did soak the starter a little bit and got the cam gear loosened up, so I think it'll work now. I bench tested it. Starts right up, or spins right up. So all we do is put it back in. If we have to take it back out, it's not that hard of a job to do. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start getting this thing worked on a little bit more. Alright guys, got the new hose on there. Old hose. I'm not 100% sure it's bad. I looked down inside of it and it's got one rough spot. So we're just going to go ahead and kaboom it. Yeah, we don't need it around. So yeah, new hose in. Next thing, I'm going to go and get this distributor put back together and on the machine. We'll clean the points, just check everything out there, maybe put a little lube on the lobe, and then maybe check the gap on there. So one thing I do is if you pull a full distributor out, make sure you mark it, and you should be able to slide that thing right back in where it was at or close to it, and then you know you're not 180 out or, yeah, so, yep. Okay, so let's do that. Let's get that thing cleaned up. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and switch out the coil. I'm looking at this one here, and if you see this top plug here, I think it's supposed to be mounted against the frame and then dither out, and this one is not. This is the one that was on the tractor, and then this is the one that actually came with the tractor, so I'm kind of curious if someone didn't already know that and then just never got around to exchanging it out. So this one looks like it's a little newer. The difference is Ford aftermarket. So we're going to go ahead and put the new one on, and we'll see where we're at. Get this thing put back together and slid back in the machine, and we'll see if we got spark. Alright guys, I've got the distributor back in the unit, and I just set the gap on the plugs. I'm going to go ahead and put new plugs in this thing, get the wires hooked up, and then I think we're ready to start working on. Alright guys, so I got the new spark plugs in. We are in good shape there. I think it's time to go ahead and get rid of this little piece of fuel line and clamps and stuff. I'd really like to, yeah, I think that's what we'll do in there. Now, I messed up on the spark plugs. So I had the old plugs, and you know, they're just a little bit rusted at the base, and they could have probably been cleared up. So I went and got some new ones, but the ones I got are the wrong ones. I got 386s instead of H10s, or what are they, 210s? Yeah, 216s. So, yeah, so I messed up there. So not a big deal. We'll go ahead and keep the other ones. I think the other ones will work on the Deer. I'm going to double check. If not, we'll take them back. And then the set that I put in this are actually the ones off of the Jubilee when I rebuilt that one. And it was just one of those things. We were working with ignition issues, so we replaced the plugs. But these ones, I believe, were right. I think that the wires are just out of time. So, yeah, so we've got a set in this one. And like I said, I think we're at the point now where we can go ahead and work on the fuel system. I'm going to go ahead and clean that carburetor on the outside. Just check it out, and then we'll go ahead and put it back in place here. Okay guys, so I started looking at the carburetor here, and I saw there was some debris on the inside, so I thought I'd better go ahead and split it. And it's a good thing I did. I could see that the gasket's curled right away, and then had issues getting the gasket off. The bell deal is stuck inside this side. The inside of the bowl's got rust chunks in it. Really needs to be rebuilt. Yeah, and then the float's free, but the valve is stuck inside the carburetor. So like I said, I kind of suspected this. This is a great candidate for a carburetor rebuild. We'll do that, not today. We'll get a good kit on order. But when we were going through the last two in, I did get a carburetor for it. So we have a brand new carburetor. So glad I went ahead and kept this rather than sending it back. I figured we were probably going to have to use it for something. So, and it's got all the necessary things. So remanufactured, definitely a lot lighter than that one. This one's like aluminum versus the cast of the other one. But this will get us by in a pinch, and we're going to go ahead and use it. So at least then I'll know how good they are if I have to order another one for a customer or something. So yeah, I'm going to get that put together, and we'll get her put on the tractor. Alright guys, so I got the new carburetor put on. I went ahead and put an inline filter just because I know that we're not going to have one at the screen, or the screen at the glass bowl right now. And being this is a new carburetor, we'll catch whatever we can. And the filter came with the carburetor kit, so why not? So I think we got everything tight. I think we're buttoned up over here. I'm going to go ahead and get the glass bowl put on the glass bowl unit, and we'll get some fuel in it and turn it on and see what happens. Alright guys, so I got the glass bowl put back in place, the new seal. I hope it doesn't leak. I don't have much faith in this unit here.
it's in there really tight. I was going to take it completely out and clean it, but was unable to. I was stripping it out, so it's going to have to be replaced. That's a thing for another day. Just hope it doesn't leak. So next thing, let's go ahead and get that starter slid back in here, and we're going to hope that works too, and we can go ahead and get this thing cranked over, and maybe she'll start. Alright, got the starter back in, tightened down, and one thing I was noticing is right here, this is a little bit loose, so that might give us some issues. It's not the nut that's loose, it's the whole stud, so I'm not really happy about that. But let's see, it cranked before, so it should crank again. I think we're going to go ahead and see if we can get it to crank over. So let me get the jump pack and we'll get that put in there. Alright guys, got the starter back in there, got the jump pack hooked up, got it turned on. So we see, moment of truth. Alright, we got good stuff there. Let's go and put some fuel in this beast. Okay, we got some fuel in it, and of course I had a couple leaks, so I went ahead and took care of those. And I think we're in good shape. I saw it go through the filter on the other side. So, yeah, we're going to let that go there. Now, one thing I didn't do is get water put in this thing. So, let me go ahead and grab my container and let's get some water put back in it. Alright, guys, so I got water put in it and we still got a leak. Come to find out, it looks like it is leaking from the back side of the water pump. So, I think the water pump's junk. You know what? We're going to go ahead and see if we can start this thing up. It's not going to hurt nothing, and yeah, we'll give it a try. So I tried tightening down the water pump to the housing, and those bolts are pretty tight to begin with, so definitely looks like a water pump. So not a big deal, that's what happens, old machines. So yeah, let's see, let me grab my tripod and we'll see if we can get this thing started up.
Alright guys, I think we're ready to go ahead and see if this thing will start. Let's do an assessment, see if we miss anything. I got a bad leak on the water pump. We know about that. Okay, I did not get the coil wire hooked back up. Let me do that. We'll come back to you guys. Alright guys, I think we're ready to go now. Got the coil wire hooked up. We got leaks coming out of the radiator, or the water pump. Let's see what we've got here. Yep, definitely front seal on the water pump. Okay, I have a switch down here, and I'm not sure what it does. Okay guys, well let's see. I don't see a constant flow coming out of the hole, so we may need to go ahead and get a little starting fluid. I think it's just hyperlock. Is that right? That's what I thought. So yeah, it's just locked up in there, which happens. So. Yeah, that's why you might have to do that. there's probably a bad spot on the starter or the actual gear. Okay. Kind of looking at what I think I've got to do here. I'm going to pull that starter out again. You know it starts. Woohoo. The starter reached at this point. I suspected we were going to run into that. So, yeah. We'll take a break, and then we'll be pulling that starter back off, and probably get a bar in there, move it back and forth a little bit, or inspect and see if we got a bad tooth on the ring gear there. I think that's ready to go. But we know it starts. Alright, guys, so here's what I did. I got thinking that the other tooling out there had a good starter on it. We were able to start it the other day. So I pulled the starter off of it and put it on here. Got the other one sitting on the bench here. Just got the battery pack hooked back up. We're really leaking water. I'd like to see if we can get this thing running, and then we'll know what we need to do next. Okay, so just a couple deals here. So I'm having to hold the choke out just a little bit. So I don't think it's getting enough fuel through that filter we put in there. Everything else seems to be working good. Yeah, it sucked it dry out of the filter. So I think I have enough fuel line. I may just not put that filter in. Let's see if that cures our issue. So I went ahead and put just a fuel line on there, got rid of that filter. That could be it. I tested it out and it's getting good flow through there. So let's see where we're at. Okay, so still doing it. So the one thing that I know is I don't have the air cleaner hooked up yet, so maybe that's just enough vacuum for that, because it does have that baffle plate in there. So I'm going to hook up the air cleaner and let's see what it does. Alright, so I went ahead and fixed that. Let's see what it does. Okay, I think it's an adjustment on the carburetor. Or we should probably go ahead and turn the fuel back on too. good. She's going pretty good. Getting the plane, huh? Yeah. So obviously she wanted to keep running. I'm really thinking that that's what this switch is about right here. So let's start her back up again. Let's just verify that. Okay, so that definitely did it. Alright, I think I'm going to move her forward and backwards, and let's see how she rolls. Alright guys, obviously she rolls really well. Our leak's gone away, so that's definitely a seal on the front up there. So shouldn't be too bad to do. Might be cheaper though to get a whole water pump. We'll have to look and see. I really want to take this thing for a little drive, test it out. We're going to get you guys set up, and we're going to go on a walk here. Alright guys, took her for a little drive. But she's just idling, just being as happy as can be. I think we made it. She's running. She's idling. The belt was a little wonky, but it could be just the one spot in the belt. Yeah, looks like a pretty bad belt. So this is what I was curious about. So it's still leaking. So yeah. Alright. Well, cool. I'm happy with that. We got another running machine. So let's go ahead and see if we can kill it. Alright guys, I think that'll conclude this video. Just will it run? Yes it will. We got it going. Didn't take too much effort. Still got little quirks and stuff to it. But at least we know we've got another machine that we saved. And we'll be doing some more work on it in the future. It's nice to be able to drive it around, get a feel for it. We know we're going to have to do something with the water pump. and I'm going to have to look at that starter and see what's up with it. So I hope you enjoy this kind of content. If you would, give me a big thumbs up. Any ideas, I appreciate it. And this is what I like doing, and I'm hoping to get some more projects like this on the way. So thank you. Have a great day.